Ever get curious about how deep organized crime really goes?
Like, how far does the rabbit hole go?
Yeah, exactly. Well, today, we're going deep, like really deep into the UK gang world.
Murky waters.
You said it. And we're diving right into some very serious accusations against one of the most notorious crime families, the Kenahan cartel from Ireland.
And this isn't just about, your typical street-level stuff.
Oh, no, not at all.
We're talking big names.
Big accusations.
Athletes, the whole 9 yards.
The reach of this thing is
huge.
Yeah. So to guide us through all of this, we've got, well, a former gang insider turned, as he calls himself, an anti-gang advocate, Darren.
And what makes G so fascinating is he claims he's seen it all firsthand.
He was on the inside.
He was, but he's not just like telling old war stories. This is different.
This is next level.
He's naming names. He's specifically saying several high-profile figures are right in the thick of the Kenahan cartel's operations.
He says they're acting like errand boys.
That's his term.
Errand boys. I mean, that almost sounds too tame for what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, errand boys might be underselling it a bit.
Because these are some heavy accusations.
Yeah, absolutely. What Guy's implying is that these people are complicit, that they're actively involved in everything the cartel does.
Money laundering.
Illicit services, you name it.
All for a profit, of course.
Big profits.
So who are these people? He just comes right out and says it.
He does. And it's not just anybody's. He points the finger straight at Daniel Kenahan.
Who is?
The alleged top guy.
The head honcho.
The head of the entire cartel. G claims Kenahan uses his influence, his power, to launder money, dirty money, through, get this, high-profile boxing matches.
Boxing matches?
Yeah.
Like what? With famous fighters?
He even names Tyson Fury and Conor McGregor.
Hold on. Is he saying Tyson Fury is mixed up in this?
Yeah.
That is a huge EE accusation.
It is.
What evidence does he have?
So G doesn't get into specific evidence, not directly.
Okay.
But what he suggests is that these fights, the boxers themselves, are all part of how they clean the money.
I mean, I guess it makes a weird kind of sense. Boxing, there's a lot of money flying around, international travel, cash transactions.
Exactly. It's all very opaque.
So it makes you wonder, okay, so who else? Who are these other supposed errand boys?
Well, he also calls out Darren Till.
The UFC fighter.
Yeah, very well known. And according to G, Till is up to his eyeballs in the cartel's business.
Like doing what?
Drug trafficking is what G alleges. He claims Till gets protection from the cartel, that they boost his career, all in exchange for his, let's call them, services.
So now it's not just financial crimes, it's drugs, potentially other things. If Guy's telling the truth, this is major.
It is. And it gets even bigger. G doesn't stop with just individuals. He says that a whole gym in Liverpool, Team Comma, and people associated with it, like Colin Heron, are deeply involved with the Kenahan cartel.
A whole gym?
He paints this picture of it being a front, a cover for drug deals, intimidation, even violence.
Wow. If a gym can be a front, it really makes you think, what else is out there? What other seemingly normal businesses could be compromised?
Exactly, and that's what's so concerning. It makes you question everything.
Right, like how far does this go?
And Guy keeps going. He even describes a low-level enforcer who works for the cartel, a guy named Paul Kelly.
So now we've got this whole structure, right? We've got the kingpins at the top.
Then the athletes, the businesses.
The enforcers on the street. It's like something out of a movie.
Right, and just like in the movies, things aren't always what they appear to be. And what makes this even more intriguing is how Guy talks about it all.
What do you mean?
It's the language he uses. He talks about killing your mates, dirty dealers, steroid abusers.
This is visceral.
It is. It's not just about breaking the law. It's deeper than that. It's like this sense of moral rot, betrayal, corruption within these communities.
So where do we even begin with all of this? These are some pretty massive accusations.
That's the big question, isn't it?
If even half of what Guy's saying is true.
What does it mean?
Right. We could be talking about corruption that goes all the way to the top.
This isn't just some small-time operation.
We're talking pro boxing, MMA, sports with millions of fans.
Global sports.
And they might be used as tools for money laundering.
If that's happening, what does that say about the people in charge? The organization's supposed to keep things clean.
It makes you think twice about those big fights, you know.
Every big money match.
Were they on the level or was something else going on? And then to think local businesses might be involved too, like that gym.
It makes you wonder what else is hiding in plain sight.
And it's not just the organizations, right? These are individual athletes. Darren Till, He's a big name in UFC.
To think he might be involved with drug trafficking?
It's a black eye for the whole sport.
If G's right, it throws the whole thing into question.
And that brings us to Guy himself.
Right, let's talk about him.
He admits he was a gangster.
Former gangster, now he's this reformed advocate.
Can we believe him?
It's tricky. On the one hand, he knows this world inside and out.
He's seen it all firsthand.
Who better to expose what's really going on?
Right, nobody.
But we can't forget where he came from either. That casts the shadow, for sure.
You mean like he might have an agenda?
It's possible.
Maybe he's trying to get back at someone.
Could be some old score he's trying to settle. We can't rule it out.
So, how do we know? What do we believe?
That's where critical thinking is key. We have to be careful with this kind of information.
It's one person's word against, well, a lot of powerful people.
And these are accusations, not proven facts. Just because Guy says it doesn't make it gospel. We have to weigh the evidence, look for any biases.
And there are always biases, right? Everyone has them.
Exactly. So we listen to G, but we keep our eyes open.
We don't just take his word for it.
We think for ourselves.
What about his motives? Could he be profiting from all this?
It wouldn't be the first time someone with his past tried to cash in. Book deals, interviews, that kind of thing.
It's definitely something to keep in mind.
It all adds another layer to the story.
So we've got accusations, potential corruption, more questions than answers.
It's complicated. But that's organized crime, isn't it?
It's like trying to catch smoke.
They thrive in the shadows, making it hard to know what's true.
So how do we navigate this?
Carefully. We stay vigilant, always on the lookout for manipulation, hidden agendas.
Because sometimes the story we're hearing isn't the whole story. It's like we're looking for clues, but we don't even know if they're real or if someone's trying to misfeed us.
It's true. We have to be careful about jumping to conclusions. But it does make you think, right?
About?
If Guy's telling the truth, even part of it, what does that say about the systems we rely on?
The system's meant to stop this kind of thing.
Exactly. Are they failing?
Are there blind spots? Places where organizations like the Kenahan cartel can operate without consequence.
And people, maybe even in powerful positions, who are letting it happen, turning a blind eye.
So where do we go from here? What needs to change?
Those are the big questions, aren't they? Do we need stricter laws?
Yep.
More resources for investigations?
More transparency, especially in these industries.
These are things we need to be talking about, demanding. Because organized crime, it doesn't just impact the people directly involved.
It touches everyone, one way or another.
Exactly. It's about connecting those dots, seeing the bigger picture.
Understanding how these networks operate.
And then pushing for real change.
And that's what we're trying to do here, right? Shine a light on these dark corners, not just for the shock value.
It's about knowledge.
Because knowledge is power.
The more we know, the better equipped we are to fight back, to demand better.
To create a world where organized crime can't thrive.
Exactly. Where these stories, as shocking as they are, become less and less common.
Well said. That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of UK organized crime. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and as always, keep asking the tough questions.